For all film-related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Puja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Many congratulations, firstly, both of you. And it's, something absolutely commendable. So, and I watched the documentary. I actually just finished watching it. And I can't tell you, I had tears. I smiled because I just feel animal whisperers, could be elephant whisperers, dog whisperers, horse whisperers. I mean, they're just like a very rare breed of people. So, Kartiki, I want to ask you, what was it like over 5 years charting Raghu, who's just a very naughty boy? What was it like?
I think to begin with Raghu, he started out as a friend. So initially began when I was actually driving through the park and I saw him and Bowman sort of beckoned me to come out. So I quickly pulled my car over to the left and I jumped out and I went and joined them. And we'd gone down to the river close by for a bath. So I spent the entire time just splashing around in the water and spending time with Bowman. And that just went on for quite a long time, over the next year and a half before I actually started professionally picking up the camera. So I'd already built a whole lot of trust before that. And I noticed that they had this really special bond. So over the 5 years, it just became deeper and deeper, and their story just gradually came out. So I think it's been a beautiful 5 years of just watching a elephant calf grow up from 3 months to 7 years now.
Yeah, and I can see that. It's also beautifully shot. And before I go to Guneet, my favorite sequence is actually the football, because he's just like any toddler at home who refuses to go in but is interested in playing ball. Well, it's just something so interesting. And every day you hear horror stories about what's happened with elephants. And also, I think sometimes humans are the beasts and not the animals whom we call beasts. They are not the beasts. It's just, gives across a very strong message and a heartwarming message that just treat them the way you would treat your own. So, through the course of shooting, which was your biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge was definitely just dealing with elephants in general, because they're just animals of their own. Of their own presence, own being, and you cannot predict it. They're not actors, and you just have to be there. And I think that's why the 5 years took place. It's not like a fiction film where you have a script and you just go out there and everything sort of placed there. It's something you just have to wait and let it unravel on its own. So I think that itself is a challenge. And also we were working in a very wild space. We were working in the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, which is one of the largest in the country, in fact. And it's a combination of many national parks over 3 states. So basically there are a whole lot of wild animals there. So not just wild elephants. We were coming back from shoots some days and we'd have a leopard cross the path. And we were working really up close with tigers and with gaur. And there were just so many other animals that we were working alongside with, apart from the elephants. So awesome. It's just the adrenaline rush of being out in the middle of nature and working with such beautiful beings. So I think, that basically sums it up.
It's just beautiful. It is beautiful. And Guneet, I want to ask you, what is the secret that you have this knack of picking up projects like that?
Firstly, who can say no to baby elephants? Please tell me that. So I'm actually grateful to Kartiki and Netflix for reaching out to me. I think the project came to me like a blessing. So I think Kartiki has been on a journey. The credit of discovering the story is Kartiki. She found Bowman and Belly and their beautiful relationship, and Raghu and then Amu, and actually shot some bit of it and made a little profile, a little reel that was sent to Netflix. And Netflix and Kartiki discussed producers, and I think Kartiki chose me, and I jumped on the opportunity. For me, it was also incredible to see this young woman who's, been incredible. Kartiki is quite well established in wildlife photography, has gone and done advertising, And here she was, making this story, and so passionately. He's worked 2 years before even she reached out, to anyone. So I've been on this journey for 3 years with Kartiki. But for me, I'm grateful. The universe somehow connects people. And I'm glad this story came up to me. I'm glad I met Raghu and Amu in my life, Burman and Belly, got to experience their bond and be a part of this film, which is so spiritually, rooted in connection.
I would say actually Raghu chose the two of you because they always say that, they are the wisest animals and they, come with their own now. So I think you were chosen by Raghu. He decided that he wanted you. But now I know Oscars, it's just getting there is a big feat. Who knows what happens next, how it unravels. I'm rooting for the two of you. And anyone who can watch this knows that it's made from such a pure heart and space. But Guneet, you are well versed with what happens. What is the process like? How tedious is it? And, so that people understand that ki ye nahi ki ho gaya or sab ho gaya. It's like quite a journey there as well.
Yeah, so we are very grateful that we got shortlisted. So lots of films are submitted, and then a shortlist comes out in our category in docu-short top 15. And from shortlist came out on 21st of December. From top 15, it will go to top 5.
Yeah.
So literally, this is semi-final round and then final round hoga. So our top 5 list comes out on 24th of January. And it's been relentless work, even from the last 3-4 weeks. Kartiki immediately flew to US and has been doing screenings, meeting voters, putting the good word out there, working closely with the Netflix team, with our executive producer, Doug. I was on my honeymoon, unaware of this magic that happened in life. And from that day, I wanted to abandon the honeymoon and reach to Kartiki. But all the good people around me were like, no, let's keep pushing. We will do the screenings. So for me, it's been working all nights. From like, I'm always working till like 3 a.m. Trying to do reach out, outreach. So it's a lot of work. And at this point, only the docu branch people can vote. Only the voters who are in docu branch can vote. So that's a number around, under 700 people. So only they can vote. So reaching out to the people, putting the word one after another is the work that we've been doing last 3-4 weeks. The voting ended today. And the results come out in January 24th. And then nomination happens. And 12th March is Academy. So then it's a month and a half of campaigning and putting the word out there for the entire Academy voters. So be it voters in the makeup branch or a VFX branch or a sound branch or an actor branch. So one has to make sure the whole world sees the film. So for me, to sum it up, I would say it's like putting a hoarding on the moon, and no better platform than Netflix to do that. That already talks to, 193 countries, 223 million viewers. So for me, for us, it is literally we have to reach the moon to be able to get to a win. And we are excited to be on this journey with Netflix.
I'm sure. And Kartiki, what has actually been the feedback of people watching? Because as I said that in those 40 minutes, I experienced a gamut of emotions because I'm someone, when I read those headlines about what's happened to an animal or, an elephant and all, I can't. I am like, don't show it to me. I don't want to, because it just upsets me. But this is just got so much. What has been basically the reactions of people who watched it?
Well, I think it's just been a little over 1 month since the movie has been worldwide.
Yeah.
And the response has been phenomenal. It's just been very overwhelming because there have been 1,000 shares on the stories, and we've had fan art, which is super special. We've had children all the way from the age of 2 drawing the elephants of Raghu and Amu, and then professional artists wanting to paint them. So I have this whole art gallery right now of images from the movie. And that's very touching to see. And I think I've had people all the way from 2-year-olds all the way up till 60, 70 write to me about the movie. That's been very touching. And I've had people who've lost their husbands reach out to me, and people from Spain and Italy and France, New Zealand. And they've actually taken the effort to write 7 paragraphs. So it's been really amazing. The response has been really beautiful. And I think that's the best part of making a movie, is waiting for people to react to it. And so it's been really special.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
because I mean, it's also struck
and
a chord with me because it's been, 2 years since I lost my pet doggo. It's just like, I just feel if I had my way, I would only live in a world full of animals. But tell me the shooting process, as you said, they're not actors, no? There are no retakes. You have to wait for that moment. And I also think wildlife photographers have the most challenging job. So what was that like, really capturing that moment? You would have your camera on throughout.
Yes. I think the thing is with actually filming animals, and when you're trying to document the lives of people with animals, the main thing is to be around them all the time. And it takes a whole lot of research before about figuring out their daily life, and also just exploring the relationship and understanding your subject. I think just knowing about elephants and the way they behave and trying to understand what they're trying to come through is a whole lot of the process. And then it's just about following in the couple and the elephants day in and day out, because these moments happen when you least expect them. One of my favorite shots, when Belly asked Amu to lie down, it was one of our breaks. We were actually waiting for Bowman to show up, but and the cameras were on, and we just happened to get it. So the thing is, things like that just happen so unexpectedly, and you can't preempt it. You can't predict it's going to happen. So you just have to be really alert and on the go all the time. So
The
all
natural
our
actors are the
actors were
animals.
just
I
really
just
very
wanted to say
brave.
that.
Yes,
I just
yes.
wanted to add that, here is this indigenous tribal community, and and it's a debut film for Kartiki, and
Yeah.
telling this story, choosing the story and telling this story to global audiences. It started from there, and this community of Katnayakans, which have that this language is also foreign to both, of course, Kartiki and me. So, to be on this journey has been thrilling, exciting, being nervous. Even all the edits have been on subtitling. So it's been a lot of hard work.
But it's a labor of
I'm
love, and it shows. It
It
totally
totally
shows.
is. It
Totally
totally
shows.
is. To be shortlisted in the 95th Oscars is also a really big deal. So
We
gratitude
are
for that.
rooting for you. And
Thank
knowing those
you.
elephants, also the trumpet sound, that will happen soon too. So ta-da-da, waiting for that. And also, I like the fact that the message that you've given, because, animals, when they reach out to human settlements, there are some people who, I mean, we've heard horror stories, some would go out and help them and, stuff like that. That's also an interesting thing. But also you are creating awareness. And so also with this couple also, it's interesting the way they're communicating. They don't know whether the elephant is understanding what they're saying, but they found a bond. Like each knows what the other wants to say. So I want to know, how did this language of communication between the animal and their caretakers, which you brought out so seamlessly, because it seems both of them are understanding. What was that like? I want to go understand that chemistry between the caretaker and the...
Well, I think to begin with, elephants are just really intelligent on many levels, and they really
Very good memory.
understand. They have an excellent memory as well. So I think it just boils down to the fact that they understand where you're coming from, and they can really understand a whole lot more than that. I think they've just been looked at as animals, and that's it. But they're capable of so much more. They have emotions. There's grief, there's joy, there's pain. They mourn after one of their own kind actually dies. So they have this whole range of an emotional spectrum, which I think many of us have just sort of forgotten or ignored to see. So I think it just begins with that. And over time, when the wild herd isn't available, I think the human caregivers step in as the parents. And in a wild herd, that's exactly what would have happened. And to actually go back to the part where Raghu was taken away, it was for his well-being that he was moved on. In a wild herd, what usually happens is the older brothers and the elder siblings will look after the younger brothers, even if it resorts to punishment. So that's why he was really pampered after a certain stage. And for his well-being, leaving aside the story part, the emotional side of it, he had to be given to a new caregiver. And that was one of the important things, because his well-being and his future is way more important at that stage. And as an adolescent elephant, the best thing for him was to be taken away. So there are a lot of similarities between humans and elephants in many ways.
Absolutely, and that comes across. Anyways, I just want to wish you both all the very best. Everyone's rooting for you. And I'm sure the elephant kingdom and the animal kingdom as well. So let's just align the forces of man, animal, nature, and root for you all the very best, and many, many congratulations. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film, and I just hope more and more people get to watch it, and should be shown in schools as well. I think it's really important for children to basically get that, because I think they would develop compassion and understanding. But thank you very much, both of you, and many congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you
Puja.
very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.